Welcome, friends. Today, we're doing another first impressions video. Scandalous. That is right, friends. Once again, I have returned to you with the last in our first impressions series. There, of course, will be a follow-up video to this, maybe two, where I will go over the fragrances which impressed me most on skin, But these are my first impressions. Now, for the more observant among you, you may notice in front of you, there is a perfume called Iris Nazarena. I actually own a bottle of this. But I thought, fuck it. I haven't actually put out into the ether on video. On live stream I have, but on video, I don't think I have how I feel about this. So I will go over it. I will talk about it a little bit. But the other two will be genuine first impressions. Never smelled them before. The house is, of course, Aedes De Venustas. And today we have Cierge De Lune, Grenadille DAfrique, and, of course, Iris Nazarena, the aforementioned Iris Nazarena. Okay, so let's have a look, shall we? Cierge De Lune. Cierge De Lune. What year were you released? It's hard to tell from here. 2016. No perfumer. Not yet, anyway. Fabrice Pellegrin. Fabrice Pellegrin, according to the blurb. Let's read the blurb and see what it says. Cool and limpid as moonlit desert air. Moonlit desert air. Velvety and sensuous as the midnight sky, like the flower's namesake, the queen of the night. In Mozart's magic flute, Cierge De Lune spans a thrilling range, from crystalline high notes to a deep nocturnal purr. Inspired by the fragrance of the night-blooming cereus, spicy vanilla laced with wisps of incense, Fabrice Pellegrin unveils the dark side of vanilla with an outstanding Madagascan vanilla absolute. Woodier and more ambery than its Tahitian counterpart with a tinge of tawny leather, it forms the heart of a composition. An airy waft of headion transmutes the delectable pod into a cactus blossom, its pristine petals fleshed out by ylang-ylang. To add vibrancy and brightness, twinkling pink pepper shoots glints of moonlight into the velvety blend, while black pepper runs an intriguing thread from mineral incense-like effects. A nod to the olfactory theme of Aedes De Venustas' first offerings. The resinous to resinous, smoky, dark chocolate notes. Then, in a final metamorphosis, musky ambrox, underscored by a downy suede accord, turns the nocturnal bloom into a dusky second skin at midnight to capture its poignantly fleeting beauty. What do you mean poignantly fleeting beauty? Are you trying to make a fucking virtue out of the fact its performance is shit? Fuck off. Oh, it's nice. It is powdery, but not in a granular, chalky kind of way, It's not that kind of powdery, soft vanilla, irisy kind of powdery. Ylang-ylang, vanilla, slightly musky, double musk. Soft, gentle, velvety. It's got that kind of velvety. It's got that kind of velvety, soft but texture. You know how you can run your nails over velvet and the grain of the velvet will be there. Smooth, cool. Smells cool. I always get coolness from a certain type of vanilla, Obviously, I'm associating it with ice cream, as you do. Well, as I do. You might not, but I do. I get the ylang-ylang. Soft. Goes well with the vanilla. It's good quality again. Again, it's good quality. It's very well made. It's not flat, but it's smooth. Does that make sense? This would smell really good on femme, you know. It's not childish, it's not girly, but young woman, you know. Cool. A cool young woman. Soft. Little bit suede-y. I get that. I like the vibe of suede. You know what I mean? I get like the soft feather kind of like tone. When it said tawny suede, I kind of felt like, you know, like a tawny owl, like the front of an owl, or them like really soft downy feathers. Excuse me. Little bit of black pepper in there. Something a little bit peppery. Sweet, not unnaturally sweet though, not like Baccarat Rouge. It's got natural sweetness. It's good. It's really good, that, actually, for a vanilla, which it's hard to make a good vanilla because there's so many of them that don't really stand out one from the other, do they? You know? Excuse me whilst I hydrate. That's really nice, that. Hard to compare it to any of the others in the line, if I'm being honest. Hopefully it doesn't dry down to that kind of generic vanilla crap sort of thing, because it's so many vanillas do that, and it's grim. You know what I mean? It's grim. But hopefully that doesn't. Okay, Grenadille DAfrique. When were you released? 2016, made by Alberto Morillas. Morias. It's got a fat blurb as well. Let's read this. From crackling sap to balmy resin, smoky wood to sun-seared stone, purple dusk to ink-black night, Aedes De Venustas' seventh scent explores the age-old landscape of Africa in a tribute to ancient ebony, Grenadille DAfrique. Grenadille DAfrique expresses not only its namesake tree, but also the primal landscape in which it grows, intriguingly described as fossilized wood rubbed in a vanilla accord. The strongly contrasted composition sets its dark heart off with luminous notes. Is it dusk or dawn? Sparkling bergamot captures the last rays of the sun, while a purple haze of lavender and violet spill their powdery moonlight on the savanna grasslands, run through from twigs to roots, with aromatic juniper-scented sap. This olfactory portrait of the mythical African blackwood tree is built around a trunk of Haitian vetiver. With its complex facets of wood, smoke, earth, and flint, it is the vertical axis that draws together the fragrance's vegetal, animal, and mineral notes. Turned into a combustible resin by a lash of ambery cistus labdanum, vanilla exudes its balsamic warmth. Bleached wood, skin-soft bark, and sun-heated stone release the day's heat into the ink-black night, cooled off by a breeze of musk. The notes are bergamot, violet, lavender, juniper, vetiver, labdanum, musk, and vanilla. Good God. What a lot of shit. Let's have a look at what you do. What do you smell like? Get the on the stick. So, I'm assuming this is supposed to be some kind of woody vetiver. I mean, I see lavender and violet and I think to myself, I think to myself that MDC Invasion Barbar. No, it's a huge vetiver. It's a huge vetiver fragrance. It's nice. Again, it's nice. But again, the same with Cierge De Lune. It's hard to do something new with vetiver. It's hard to do something interesting, you know? It's earthy. It's got that blackness, you know how it was talking about like ebony wood and stuff like that. It's got that to it. It's masculine because it associates itself with those masculine notes like lavender, juniper, wood, vetiver. It's got all that stuff. It's a dark one. It's a bit like the Chanel one, Sycamore. And I've got it right there in front of us. It's got that. It's much more like Sycamore than it is like Guerlain's vetiver. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. Much more in the ballpark of Sycamore Encre Noir than it is. I think it's better than Encre Noir. It's got a lot more going on. It's more. I think it's actually nicer than Sycamore, if I'm being honest. Well, nicer might be a bit harsh. It's there's more going on than it's got in Sycamore. Very dark green. It's got that dark. When it was talking about ink, obviously ink black night, I think it said it's got that Encre Noir dark vetiver, but with little flashes in the dark, little sparks of different things going on, you know, like juniper. Juniper's tangy. It's got that kind of zest. Bergamot. Little bit of violet. Woodiness, yes. I'm not saying it's mid, and I'm not saying it's boring, and I'm not saying it's poor quality. It's definitely none of those things, but it's so hard to do something with vetiver. It's like every house has got one, and if you don't have one, it's like, why don't you have one? But then everybody makes one, and it's kind of like, well, everybody's got one, and that's theirs. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's another vetiver. It's good. It's interesting. It's quality. But again, it's another vetiver. Bah. Okay. We'll do Iris Nazarena. Just some quick thoughts so they're out there. This was made by Ralph Schweiger. I didn't know that. I did not know it was made by Ralph Schweiger. The second fragrance, this must have been the second one they released in 2013, you came out. This second fragrance, this time dressed in somber grey instead of the sumptuous purple of the first, is mysterious, mystical and sensual, placing the flower of iris at the centre of the new creation. But this is not the pale or rooty iris that we know from other fragrances tagged with iris in their name or notes, but a composition that focuses on the Bismarck variety, also known by the name of Nazarene iris, thanks to growing in the mountains of East Nazareth. Notes are iris, would you believe? Leather, vetiver, incense, oud, clove, rose, ambrette, juniper, aniseed. Oh, it's so good. I'm sure I get raspberry in this. I'm absolutely certain there's a fruity little bastard in here. I'm sure I get raspberry. Just a hint of it. It's so good. It's so different from a lot of other irises, but it's got that almost paper-like quality to it. You know, that flat, smooth, and you know, I was saying before about the Cierge De Lune, it's flat, but it's not, it's smooth, but it's not flat. This is flat and smooth. It's cool, cold, light, but it's still got potency. It's not like the type of fragrance that you can't smell. You can smell it all day, but it's still light. It's got a smoky quality to it, but not in the smell, in the way that it acts and the way that it behaves. It's in the air. You can't necessarily see it, but you can tell it's there. Again, like a large, like a pad of paper. You know, like printer paper, you buy it in the big pads. And if it's fresh, when you open it, you can kind of smell that flat, almost white, office, clean kind of smell. Oh, it's so good. I should take this opportunity to say thank you to Anuj and thank you to Natalia, who last year or the year before bought me bottles of this. Didn't like, not for any kind of commercial reason. They bought us them as mates, as friends. And they both arrived on the same day. Incredible. Lovely human beings. So that is Iris Nazarena, which I have a bottle of, and there will be a review one day, fear not. There will be a review one day. Why have you started acting funny, buggers? Let's go back over these quick. Cierge De Lune. Nice, but I've got a horrible feeling that's just going to go into a flat vanilla, boring shit vanilla. Grenadille DAfrique is a vetiver fragrance, and it smells very typical now. These two have probably been the poorest efforts, and then Iris Nazarena. Oh, it's so good. It smells almost medicinal. Okay, these have been my first impressions from Aedes De Venustas, friends. I'll be back soon with a follow-up video, and I will see you then.